silly. Are you coming over here to see me? Hi. Hi there. Are you just gonna come right up to me? Hey there, little buddy. Oh, Mama's not gonna like this. Sunny day. I need green onions from the onion patch. These are the leany onions that are left here. I'm just gonna grab all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got my onions. I got a surprise pile of seaweed. Bling! I've got my next succession of basil here at the house, and it is ready to plant out. Yes. So I pulled it from underneath the lights here, and I think I'm gonna go take it down to the greenhouse, let it get used to things. Hopefully it's not too weird out here for them. I need to transplant the second succession into this bed, but I still need this orach. I've got a patch of mature orach over here, and my next succession of orach is still little teeny tiny, and may take a number of weeks before I can harvest from there. Meanwhile, I really need to get this lettuce out of here so these cucumbers can get a little more light. And I need to deal with my basil that I'm growing for seed. I just need to deal with it. Today's the 4th of July. Happy 4th. Gleam. Before and after. Greenhouse Salanova. Before and after. Greenhouse chard. Next task is to deal with this basil that I overwintered up at the house under lights in hopes of getting seeds. I brought them out here. They've still been flowering, but I kind of want to go ahead and just clip them off, throw them in this bag here. I'll probably separate these guys into a couple paper bags to give them more airflow in there. But yeah, I'll just hang them up at the house, let them dry. Okay, dudes, so I really need to get the weeds out of these beds now, and I'd like to plant some orach, seed some ruby red orach in this bed here as kind of a second, or I guess a third succession of orach. But I think it might be too warm for the seeds to germinate, so I may need to wait for like a cloudy week or something. This is the half bed, the 20 feet of lofty salad mix that I cut once. So this will be a second cut. I got the rest of it. Yeah. Fortunately, the sun kind of mostly stayed behind the clouds. Lofty salad mix. Okay, dudes, we're supposed to have an hour or so of a little overcast, so I'm gonna do some transplanting. This is the succession of lettuce that's supposed to go out this week, these 2 flats. I could actually probably plant this out, but I think I'm gonna wait. This would be the following week, just to let them develop their roots a little bit more. And the bok choy is supposed to be for the bed ends to kind of replenish all these ones that have gone to flower out here. Plus I've got a few that went out a week before, and I think I'm gonna throw these guys in with my mature chard where all the extra lettuces seem to be going. I've got 60 green Salanova, 60 red Salanova, and I took some of the leftover lettuces and transplanted them in between the transplants, in between the chard. Bok choy at all the bed ends, Oftentimes these will just end up, you know, bolting to seed this time of year, but I'm not quite sure what else I should be planting for slug attractants away from everything else. So I usually transplant before a period of rain, so the transplants get rained in really well, or watered in really well. But we're supposed to have some sunny days, so I don't know. I put some water in the hole before I transplanted, but I might need to water them or something, I don't know. Hey peeps. So I spent a number of hours weeding with a hoe, the wheel hoe in the pathways today. So I'm trying to decide, I need a couple more pounds of lettuce. Do I grab from this pile of lofty? Do I grab a few heads of Salanova at the end there? This patch of lofty salad mix is getting awfully big, so I might as well just pick this, at least this end. Those guys back there are kind of small. Only 1.21 pounds. I'm back at the other end of the garden here, and I'm gonna grab a couple of red Salanova, get a little bit more lettuce weight. 0.43 pounds, that's probably just enough. I got nervous and cut 2 more heads of red Salanova. Extra Salanova, 0.63 pounds.
La 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 la.
8 collard greens. The slugs are already starting to nibble on the kale, so I need to get more serious. Usually they start out just kind of chewing on the clover, but then they start crawling up and grabbing these guys. 12 bunches of kale. I need to start with this kale because I need to put down some boards in the center of the row so that the slug can sleep underneath there during the night and I can pick them up during the day. So I've grabbed these bin boards from the compost because I don't have any compost, so I can go ahead and use these. And hopefully it's not too dry that the slugs will like to live underneath it. I haven't seen any cutworm eggs on the backs of the leaves, which I normally see. So far so good. Do you think we'll hit 80 today? So many kale leaves. First bag of kale, almost 10 pounds. 80.4. Working on the next bag. Some of these leaves are old or they've gotten hit by slugs, although I'm not seeing as much slug damage in these 2 beds as over there, probably because it's near the edge of the garden and the slugs come crawling in. So I'm just checking each leaf, make sure I don't have any crud on it. One thing I didn't think about is that there's a bunch of clover under here, right? And if I'm gonna direct seed stuff, ooh, slug damage. I'm nervous now. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. I could shovel it and turn it over. So you might be asking, why am I doing, removing these 2 half rows here? Why don't I just remove 1 whole row? I mean, 1 whole bed. Like this whole bed here. Well, the thing about it is because I've got 2 different types of Italian kale, and this one is the dazzling blue, which I like to mix. Look at this monster leaf. I like to mix them together in a bunch. And since I'm freezing these, I have to make sure they're clean because once they're frozen, I'm not going to be able to wash them. And I'm not washing them, I'm just throwing them into a bag. Look, this is a potato from last year. Okay, so then what I do is take my bucket buddy. Can you see? You can't see. And I cut stems off so that it will halfway fit in the bag. Come here, buddy. And then I just jam it in here. And then the next one, I put it opposite. That's how that works, folks. Okay, so I've just got this clover, and I think I might be able to just pull it out by the roots pretty easily. It's some pretty loose soil. Always freaks me out, pulling out a crop. I'm gonna regret it. So I'm gonna go through the rest of this couple half beds and get the big leaves. Yeah, so this leaves me 1.5 beds of kale and a half bed of collard greens, which is probably what I should have planted in the first place. If I was good, I would have already started another succession of kale. 81. There's a moth hanging out on my salad mix. Hi, I'm underneath the insect netting, safe from the moths. I just pulled all the clover from this half bed over here. Okay, done. There's still some moisture in this bed. So it might take seeding if I watered it a little bit. Hi, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's probably already too light to go slug hunting, but I'm gonna go slug hunting anyway. And I gotta turn the water on. It is 6:30 in the morning and the sun's just popping up over the hill. Now this sun should travel all the way around the horizon and come down around here somewhere. Mosquitoes are out. Got the bug hat on. I only found one slug on the number of plants that are getting obviously hit by slugs, and so I should probably go out tonight when it's dark, right before I go to bed. I set up a extra hose so I can get some water. It sprung a leak on both sides. Okay, my solution is to just put this hose straight onto this guy, which isn't leaking, and put a little turny-on-y-offy fellow at the end here, which is kind of dribbling, but not too bad. Yay. Filling up watering can and hand watering, dudes. The only thing that I watered out here in the garden is this new Transplants, the Salanova lettuce, the bok choy at the bed ends. I didn't bother getting the little Salanovas between the chard. Hopefully everybody's leaves dry before the sun gets them. I'm gonna go back there, hit those 2 half beds, seed some lofty salad mix. I can't get to the very ends because of this big old tire. Seeded and watered. Hopefully this works. So I put down 0.35 ounces, and for 6 rows I've put down 0.15 ounces. So for 18 rows I should be getting 0.45 ounces. So I put down less seed, but that could be just because I didn't do a full 20 feet. I'm weeding the basil. Guess who I found? Little tiny toad. Can you see him? Hello. He eats slugs. I think the basil like doubled in size this week. Hello. All cleaned up. And check this out, folks. Little cucumbers are trying to make cucumbers. I was gonna put boards on top of the clover to capture slugs, but I'm not seeing a lot of slug damage in here. So I may consider cutting back the clover first before putting boards down.
Bag 2, almost 10 pounds. Third bag, oh, a little over 9 pounds. And just a couple of bunches of kale that I can eat fresh.
Chest freezer. And I have 4 bags, probably about 10 pounds each. There's an earlier bag of collard greens that I have down at the bottom. I probably have room for 2 or 3 more bags in here. But yes, I'm pretty excited about this frozen kale thing. Last year I talked about doing Operation Frozen Kale, and I never got it done. And I realized how easy it is to grab those big leaves and how compact those packs are. So maybe I'll have just enough room, because yeah, that would last me a long time to eat the kale when I don't have things during the wintertime. So anyway, I will see you guys next week. Look how huge and orange he is. So huge and orange. It's 9 o'clock at night. Can you see the sun? He's not down yet, but he's not on the garden anymore.